Respected elders, educationists, dear teachers, and dear students, welcome. In this class, we are going to see part 5 under the head Degrees of Comparison. We have already seen three classes in which the preliminary things regarding degrees of comparison I have explained in part 1. In part 2, comparing two things or persons, I have explained. In part 3, comparing more than two persons or things, I have explained. In this class, we are going to see what are the scales we have to use in positive, comparative, and superlative degrees when we compare three or more persons or things. Come, let us see. English grammar, degrees of comparison. Part 4. It is live. Live 275. Actually, videos are even more than 250, but here for the from some three or four videos. I mean, messages I have been classes I have been conducting directly. I am giving the messages directly. That is through live. Dated 21/6/2024. Degree of comparison for 4. Interchange of degrees of comparison. That is, now we are saying comparing three or more persons or things. In comparing three or more persons, there are two kinds of comparison. In one, out of three or more persons or things, only one has the highest quality. And what are the rules? There we have to follow. That we saw in the last class. In this class, we are going to see comparing three or more persons or things, of which more than one person or things, more than one person or thing have the highest qualities. That is, when there are more than two persons or things, two or more persons, minimum two or more persons are having the highest qualities. What are the rules we have? What are the scales we have to use in each degree? See, comparing more than one person or thing having the same, I mean, yes, the same highest qualities. More than one person or things having the same highest qualities. Very few as in the positive degree. The most other in the comparative degree. One of the in the superlative degrees. These are the three scales. Very few asses. Then most of the one of the. These are the three scales we have to use when we compare two or more persons or things having the supreme qualities. When there are more than two persons or things. That is, when there are more than two persons or things, where if more than one person or thing are having the highest qualities, what are the rules we have to follow? What are the scales we have to use? See the examples. First degree. Very few boys in the class are as tall as Kumar. More is taller than most other boys in the class. Comparative. Kumar is one of the tallest boys in the class. These are the three scales we have to use. Now let us see how to convert from positive into comparative and superlative. And likewise, comparative to positive and superlative, and positive to positive, from superlative to positive and comparative. Now see these three things. Let us see. Rules for comparing are the rules for interchanging degrees involving more than two persons or things in which more than one person or thing have the same highest quality. One, say head one example under one. Rules for changing positive degree into comparative. Rules for changing positive into comparative. That's six rules we have to follow. See, to make it to make my children understand it clearly, I have given a diagram here. See, I have given five diagrams. Of these five boys are in a class. Out of the five boys, three boys are having the same height. Out of the five boys, three boys are having the same height. A, B, and C have the same height, and the other two boys are with different height. So far, so make it easy. I have given as a diagram. Example: very few boys in the class are as the tall as Kumar. Positive. Its comparative form is Kumar is taller than most of the boys in the class. How we reached to this form from this form? What are the rules we have followed here? Let us see them. Rule one. First, make the complement as the subject. Rule one. Then, verb. Change the verb. Keep the verbs according to the subject. In the positive degree, the subject is plural. So the be verb used is are. In the comparative form, the subject is singular, Kumar. So instead of are, we have used is. That is has replaced are. Then thirdly, the positive scale, positive degree has two scale, as or so as. Here the first scale as is the dropped. Fourthly, the positive adjective tall is replaced by its comparative adjective taller. That is, the positive adjective tall is replaced by its comparative adjective taller. Fifthly, the second scale of the positive degree as is replaced by the comparative degree by the comparative scale the sixthly the very few in the subject very few in the subject is replaced by most other. That is, The very few in the subject are replaced by most other, and the remaining parts of the subject are brought out as the complement. Again, very few in the subject are removed, and most other are placed in their place, and the entire subject is made as the complement. That's all. Again, first, the complement is made as the subject. Secondly, verb in the comparative in the positive, the subject is plural, so or has been used. In the comparative, the subject is singular Kumar, so the R has been changed into is. That is, the R has been replaced by is. That the as in the positive degree, first as in the positive degree is removed, is dropped. Then, fourthly, the positive degree, positive adjective tall is replaced its comparative adjective taller. Fifthly, the second scale of the positive is replaced by the comparative scale. The sixthly, very few the words, the two words, very few in the subject are replaced by most other, and the entire subject is made as the complement. That's all. Okay. So, very few boys in the class are as tall as Kumar. That is, Kumar is Kumar is taller than most other boys in the class. Now, second example under the head one, under the example one. Rules for changing positive degree into superlative degree. The same six rules. Very few boys in the class are as tall as Kumar. Superlative. Kumar is one of the tallest boys in the class. What are the rules we have followed here? First, the complement has been made as the subject. The complement has been made as the subject. Secondly, the verbs, the verb has been changed. In positive, the subject is plural, boys. So we were on. In the superlative, the subject is singular, Kumar. So are is replaced by is. Or has been replaced by is. Then the positive, first positive skill as has been replaced by the superlative skill one of the has been replaced by one of the. Fourthly, the positive adjective tall has been replaced by its superlative adjective tallest. Sixthly, the second scale of positive degree has been dropped, is dropped. Then, sixthly, very few of the subject, the two words, very few in the subject are dropped. Both very few, the two words are trapped, removed, and the remaining part of the subject is made as the complement. That's all. Six rules. Again, very few boys in the class are as tall as Kumar. Superlative, Kumar is one of the tallest boys in the class. Rules. First, make the subject, make the complement as the subject. Secondly, change the verb. In the positive, the subject is plural, so the verb is are. In the superlative, the subject is singular, so the plural verb are has been replaced by the singular verb is. Thirdly, the positive scale, first scale, as has been replaced by the superlative scale, one of the. Fourthly, the positive scale, a positive adjective, tall, has been replaced by its superlative adjective, tallest. Fifthly, the second scale of positive degree is dropped. Sixthly, the very few in the subject are removed, and the remaining part of the subject is made as the complement. That's all. So, very few boys in the class are as tall as Kumar. That is, Kumar is one of the tallest boys in the class. Thirdly, we are going to see what are the rules we were to follow to change the superlative degree into positive and comparative degrees. Let us see. Kumar is one of the tallest boys in the class, superlative. Very few boys in the class are as tall as Kumar, positive. What are the rules we have followed here? Let us see. First, the complement boys in the class. The complement here, the complement is boys in the class. Before the plural noun, very few should be added, and the entire things should be made as the subject. That is, in the complement, before the plural, very few should be added, and the entire complements should be made as the subject. There is very few boys in the class. Boys in the class. Very few boys in the class. Secondly, verb. In superlative, the subject is singular. So the verb is singular, yes. In the positive degree, the subject is plural. So the singular is has been replaced by the plural be verb are. Thirdly, the superlative scale, unnatha, has been replaced by the positive first scale as. Fourthly, the superlative adjective tallest has been replaced by its positive adjective tall. Fifthly, the second positive scale as has been placed after the adjective, after the positive adjective, the positive scale, second scale as has been placed, is used. Sixthly, the subject of the superlative degree has been made as the complement. These are the six rules we have followed here. Again, first, the complement of the positive degree, boys in the degree. Very few should be added before the plural noun, and the entire complement should be made as the subject. Secondly, verbs should be changed according to the subject. Singular is plural are. Thirdly, the superlative scale should be replaced by the first positive scale, one of the as. Fourthly, the superlative degree, tallest, should be replaced by its positive adjective, tall. Fifthly, the second scale of the positive degree as should be placed. Sixthly, the subject of the superlative form should be made as the complement of the positive form. That's all okay. So, Kumar is one of the tallest boys in the class. Superlative. Very few boys in the class are as tall as Kumar. Positive degree. Then third, I mean second example of the third. That is changing positive degree into comparative degree. Changing positive degree into comparative degree. What are the six rules we got to follow? Kumar is one of the tallest boys in the class. Superlative degree. Kumar is taller than most of the boys in the class. Comparative degree. Now, what are the rules? I have already told you when comparative degree and superlative degrees, both comparative forms and superlative forms would be having the same subject and verb. So, when you interchange comparative into positive, and vice versa, there should no change should be effected both in subject and verb. So, okay, like that, Kumar in the superlative degree is the subject of the positive degree. Then the verb is no change. Thirdly, the superlative scale, one of that is dropped. Thirdly, the superlative adjective tallest is replaced by the positive adjective, I mean by the comparative adjective taller. Thirdly, the superlative adjective tallest is replaced by the comparative adjective taller. Fourthly, the comparative scale then is used. And after that, then most of that should be used. The two words, most of that, very important, should be used. Then the complements, remaining complements of the superlative form should be kept as they are, as it is. So, okay. Again, first, there is no change in the subject, so no change in the verb. Thirdly, the superlative scale, one of the is the one of the or trapped. Fourthly, the superlative adjective tallest is replaced by its comparative taller. Then fourthly, the comparative scale then is used. Then most of the should be used after that. After that, most of the should be used. Then the remaining part of the superlative complements should be kept as it is. Okay. So, Moore is one of the tallest boys in the class. Superlative. Kumar is taller than most of the boys in the class. Dear students, thus here we have seen in a degree of comparison, comparing three or more things or persons, of which more than one person or thing are having the highest qualities. And there, that is when two or more, two or more persons or things have the highest qualities among three or more men or things, what are the rules we are going to follow? That we going to see. That is for the positive degree, positive degree, the scales are very few assets. For comparative, then most other. For superlative, one other. That's all. Very few assets. Then most other. One other. These are the three scales we have to use to express in positive, comparative, and superlative degrees. Example I have already given. That is Kumari. There is very few boys in the class are as tall as Kumar. Positive. Kumar is taller than most other boys in the class. Comparative. Kumar is one of the tallest boys in the class. Superlative. Another example I would like to give. Very few girls in the class are as intelligent as Ronnie. Positive. Ronnie is more intelligent than most other girls in the class. Compare it. Ronnie is one of the most intelligent girls in the class. Stupidity. In this way, we go to things. So, in the last four classes, first, the rules regarding the degrees of comparison and the formation of comparative and superlative form of adjectives from the positive adjective. Rules. In the second class, I have discussed the rules regarding comparing two things or persons. Only when two things or persons are compared, we will have only two degrees. That is positive and comparative. And what are the ways? When two things are the same, the scale used is one assets. When two things are different, the scale used for positive is so as. So, in the third class, I have discussed about comparing three or more persons or things, of which only one person or things has the highest quality. In this class, I have discussed comparing, three or more persons in which more than one person or thing have the highest quality. All these three, all things we have seen. In the coming class, in the fifth class, who would say some other things regarding the degree of comparison. So, respected elders, educationists, the teacher and dear students, I thank all of you for listening to my class regarding the degree of comparison and the rules regarding regarding the changing of degrees, interchanging of degrees from from positive, comparative, and superlative into other degrees. So, see, my dear students, degrees of comparison another one of the most important chapter. grammatical part. One of the most important grammatical parts. Without knowing these things, you cannot correctly express your ideas, either orally or in writings. So be very careful in observing these things and knowing the basic factors, the scales used there. So okay, till I meet you in the next class. I wish all of you a very nice and sweet time. Thank you.